What happened?
So I got a phone call around 12 o'clock on Monday, April 1st, and from Adam's school, and they said Adam fell. They told me Adam had fell. I said he fell, and he said yeah. They said yes, that they had to call the paramedics. I said, is he okay? And they said, I think it's better if you come. I said, okay. I'm pretty far. I'll be there as soon as I can. I grabbed all my stuff and I left. I got in my car, and the first thing I did was call my husband. I called my husband and I told him, they just called me from the school that Adam had an accident, that he fell, and they had to call the paramedics. My husband had just gotten to work, literally just gotten to work. And he said, what happened? And I said, I don't know. They didn't tell me anything. They just told me he fell, and I was on my way to the hospital. After I hung up with my husband, and I called my mom, and I told her what had happened. My mom we're just across the street from the school. So I told her, go to the school, go find out what happened. I'm on my way. So my mom went to the school. By the time my mom got to the school, the paramedics had already left. In the transition of time between my mom getting there, me getting there, I got another phone call telling me that they were taking him to the hospital. They took him to the hospital, that they were taking him to Queen of the Valley. And I was asking why, what happened? What happened? They said, just go to the hospital. They need you at the hospital. That the principal was going to go with him. I finally get there to the hospital. As I was getting to the emergency room, I saw the principal out there, and she stopped me on the way, and I hadn't even parked my car or anything. She says, you need to get in there. You need to get in there now. And I got out of my car, and I just left my car there. And I ran with her into the emergency room. And as I was going to the emergency room, one of the nurses looked at me, and she says, I can see her face, and I know who she's looking for. And she pointed to the room where Adam was at. I get to the room, and I see my son with all these tubes and blood in his face. And my heart just drops, because I don't know what happened. And I start asking, what happened? What happened? And then they tell me that he went into defib, and that his heart had stopped.
And how's it like talking with the other?
Oh yeah, the staff there was very comforting. The nurses were very helpful. They were there supporting of me and my husband. They were there. They would help me, ask me if there was anything that I needed, anything that I needed to drink to make me feel more comfortable, or anything. And they were very helpful. Very. There was one nurse in particular, the one that was there by Adam's side at all times, and it was Rosie. Rosie was there at all times.
And how was it like talking with Rosie?
It was comforting. She was supportive. She put herself in my shoes. She knew what I was going through. She was feeling what I was feeling at the time. She knew. She knows what it is to be a mom and to see your child there. When I heard what happened, when I found out through mostly the teachers, then when they told me everything that what happened with the paramedics and everything, what the paramedics had done, for me, I will be eternal grateful to the paramedics, to the nurse, to the doctor, to all of them for saving my son. Because if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't be here. That was the EMS luncheon that they invited us. That was pretty exciting. That was I got a chance to meet all the nurses again, to see the nurses face to face. That day, everything was a blur. So I actually got to talk to them, to see them. the doctor, the nurses, the rest of the staff that was there, and Adam got to see them, and it was heartwarming, and to see Rosie hug Adam and fall apart crying of happiness and joy. That right there just got my full of happiness and joy. I am so grateful to all of them.
And how's that like?
I don't think I ever want to step into the ER ever again, but I mean, it's an amazing feeling to know that all these doctors and nurses and they're there and they make a difference. You know, we take for granted all the work that they do, and it's unfortunate that something like this has to happen for us to open our eyes to see all the good work that they do, all the lives that they save.
How was it like visiting the fire station after this?
That was exciting too. Visiting the fire station, it was exciting. Adam got to meet all the paramedics and the firemen that got to save his life, and he saw everybody. Everybody was very excited to see him as well. You know, Adam is a rare case. Everybody loves him.
Larger ER at Queen of the Valley.
Oh, it's important to have a larger ER at Queen of the Valley. It's always to have more patients be seen, more rooms. I remember that day, and it was pretty crowded. Patients all over in the hallway, and the waiting room was full. It's pretty crowded in there. So it'd be pretty exciting and amazing to see a new facility. Oh, it's important to have a large ER at Queen of the Valley. It would make a difference to have more rooms, a bigger waiting room. As I can remember, there's patients in the hallways. The waiting room's always full. There's people standing, even outside. So it'd be pretty amazing to have a bigger facility for people to be attended. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened if there was no ER at Queen of the Valley. If there wasn't an ER anywhere for my son wouldn't have been here. And if that was the case, that would have been heart-wrenching. And I don't even want to imagine if there wasn't. So if the ER at Queen of the Valley were too full to admit my son that day, my son wouldn't even be here. My son wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful that it wasn't, and that there was room for him. That's horrible. That's horrible. I can't imagine you have a case like Adam's, and there's no room. He's gone. He's gone. From what I gather, I mean, they rescued him here at the school and then also at the hospital. So it wasn't like, oh, he was responsive on his way and then he got there and then, So if they would have diverted him somewhere else, he wouldn't be here. I think it's very important for you to help this cause, because I am a true believer, and from experience, that the ER room is needed, and there's a lot of patients that need our help, our help as a community, as to sponsor it. It would be great. We need a bigger emergency room. I can't even imagine what would have happened if my son would have not been treated, if he would have been turned away because the emergency room was too full, or if there was no bed for him there, or no, he wouldn't be here. I'm very grateful that for the staff, thank God that they were there on time.